Hello and welcome to AKSupercars. In this episode, I'm going to be taking you along on the journey of purchasing and fixing a car, and then hopefully selling it on for a profit. So stay tuned. Okay, so I thought I'd give you the lowdown on the car itself. So a few days ago I came across an advert for a Vauxhall Insignia, and it was going fairly cheap. So on the advert it was stated that there was an issue with the power steering where it simply did not work. The guy who owned it said he hasn't taken it to a garage yet. Take that with a bit of a pinch of salt, because I'm sure before you sell a car for considerably under its market value, you would take it to a garage or at least get it checked to see what the problem is and how much it's going to cost you. He apparently hasn't taken it to the garage, and he estimates that the cost is going to be in the region of £300 to £400. And the reason for sale is that he simply doesn't have the cash to fix this issue, and so wants to just get rid of the car and wipe his hands clean. I had gone down to have a look at it last night, and had a look around it. The body seems in a fairly decent condition, and the RA. The body seems in a fairly decent condition. A few scratches and scuffs here and there, understandable for the age of the car. Interior is quite nice. Give you a look around the car, and then we'll just have to go from here. So here is the car. It's a 59 plate, 2010 Vauxhall Insignia. Body's in not terrible condition. The badge is missing there. A few scratches here and there down the body. A little bit damage on the bumper there, so I might need a respray, or maybe I'll just leave it. And the overall condition of the body is not terrible for the car. So now let's have a look inside. So there it is. Interior needs a bit of a clean, but nothing too terrible. So let's just jump inside. So yeah, it's a manual 6-speed. Yeah, interior just basically needs a nice good clean. We've got steering wheel controls here, automatic lights. And the car has got, I believe, 99,000 miles, so let's just stick the key in and have a look. So now it's got code 18 coming up there. I've looked it up, and that is the front left headlight. So don't know why it just wouldn't say, bulb, but whatever. So the issue now we have at the moment is that the battery is flat, so the car will not turn on. So I'll give you a demonstration now. It's me turning, and as you can see, the lights will go away. So that's the battery being dead, essentially. We'll possibly need to jump start it, but there is something else I've noticed under the hood, which I will show you now. So let's just pop the bonnet. Okay, so here is the engine. I believe it's a 2-litre 4-cylinder diesel. There's our little turbo over there. So essentially what I have noticed is that here is the alternator and there is no belt on it. All the other pulleys down there is no belt on there. So first things first is I will have to stick a belt on and then let's see what happens. Alrighty then, now we're gonna head off to Euro Car Parts to buy the drive belt to see if that's gonna help us at all. So let's get on the way. So I have just realised that it's a Sunday and so Euro Car Parts is closed. But apparently one of the other branches is open on a Sunday, so I'm going to head there. Okay, so now in order to access down there, I think it would be probably best if we remove the airbox. And in order to do that, we'll take off the mass airflow sensor. So after about half an hour of working on the car, I have managed to take off the engine mount, budge the engine down a bit, taken off the covers at the bottom of the car, and been struggling for a little while trying to put on the new belt. As you can see, hands are nice and dirty, and it's just not going on. Regardless of how hard I try, it's just not working. So this is the belt, by the way. This is what I'm trying to get on, and I think maybe that they've given me the wrong one. This is slightly shorter than the one that's actually required for the car, so I'll just head down and swap it and get another one. Let's catch you then. Finally some success after about an hour of working. We now have this belt on there. So that's the alternator generating electricity. If you have down here, this big one is the crank, so that's when the engine's spinning, that spins. This now is the tensioner, which basically puts tension onto the belt. The next one just there, that's the air conditioning. And this bad boy up here is the power steering pump. So I'm hoping that the power steering wasn't working because there was no belt driving the pump. So now that the belt is going to drive the pump, we're hoping that power steering comes back. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to replace the engine mount, put the airbox back, and then the battery is flat, so we're going to have to jump start it with the VM, and then fingers crossed, let's see. Check this out. One finger. Power steering is now functioning. That's great. I will take the car on a test drive and then we can see if there's any other issues with driving it, if the power steering is still functioning, any other issues like suspension, engine, gearbox, etc. But all looks very good so far, and only warning light is the code 18, which is the bulb. No engine management, nothing else, so yeah, seems good so far, and I'll keep you updated. Yes, just needs a bit of a vacuum. Seats need a bit of a clean, definitely at the back. So I've got a machine that sort of like a carpet cleaner but for seats, so it sprays water into the fabric and then sucks it back out, and then they come out nice and new and clean. So I'll get on with that and I'll catch you guys later. Okay, so now the interior is all nice and clean. Everything's been vacuumed, the seats have been valeted. So now there are a couple of things that I need to do. Firstly I need to get a knob for the mirrors, and on the outside the front badge is missing over there. I've seen some on eBay for about £30, or brand new for £45. I'll check out my local Vauxhall scrapyard and see if they've got anything for me. While I was out, I also managed to grab one of these bulbs for the rear light, as we remember had gone out. So I'll just stick this and the Vauxhall badge on, and then I'll show you how. The purchase price of the vehicle was £1,800. Fuel costs of driving to the car and bringing the car back home were £30. The cost of car insurance and the cost of a driver to bring it home was £70. The cost of replacing the drive belt in parts was £20. The cost of a new badge and bulb were £26. The cost of a car wash and placing an advert was £49, leaving us with a total cost of £1,995. 5 days after placing the advert, the first person who came to see the car bought it at £2,900. The total costs were £1,995, leaving a profit of just under £1,000 at £905.